Hello and welcome back to another on Football Zone and to a weekend preview, previewing the Premier League games this week, and also looking at firstly at the Uecl Conference League game this Thursday. The one British team left in Europe, really disappointing campaign for the English teams. Aston Villa away to Olympiacos, of course a Greek side, having a pretty decent season themselves, but I think this is a game that Villa really would be hoping to win, I think, and gives themselves a great chance against the final like West Ham. I think they'll do the business in the away leg and carry it home at Villa Park. I'm going to say 2-1. Moving on then to Fulham against Man City at Craven Cottage, and this is looking like another tough game for Man City. It has to be said. For Man City, it has to be said. I think Fulham are a decent side. We've seen recently that they do have some pretty decent results in them. I don't think Craven Cottage is an easy place to go. But at the same time, Man City just on such a roll at the moment. It's hard to see where they can be stopped, in all honesty. So I'm going to say 2-0 to City here. I think they'll have enough. Moving on into Bournemouth as they take on Brentford at the Vitality, it's an interesting game because basically for both these sides, the season you'd say is pretty much over, just kind of jockeying for the meaningless positions really, it's interesting because I think both these teams are looking in relatively decent shape heading into next season, it's going to be interesting to see how it all goes, but I'm going to say it will be a 1-1 draw. Moving on then to Everton as they take on Sheffield United at Goodison Park, and Everton coming into this one all but safe. Sheffield United relegated, so it's another game where there's also not too much on it. Sheffield United, I think let's just face it, their squad it probably isn't quite of the required standard. Sean Dyche, with all the difficulties Everton have faced off the pitch, have done a really good job to get them into the position they are in now, and they'll be delighted to have all but secured safety. I'm going to say they'll back out with a win here, 2-0 Everton. Moving on to Newcastle as they take on Brighton at St James's Park, and this is an interesting game. Brighton, were really impressed in that win over Villa last week, kind of getting back to the Brighton that we're so used to seeing playing really well, taking on a Newcastle side who obviously need wins and come on strong recently if they're able to secure their position in Europa League. At the moment they're in prime position to do so. It's going to be an intriguing game this one, but I'm going to say it'll be 2-0 to the Toon. I think they'll have enough and take a big step forward. Moving on into Tottenham as they take on Burnley at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and Tottenham, you'd say probably they haven't done quite enough to secure that Champions League spot, which will be a major disappointment for them. But I don't know. I can't see it. Burnley all but relegated, unfortunately for them. So it's a great opportunity for Tottenham to put some pressure on Villa. But whether it will be enough, I don't quite think so. But I think Tottenham will have enough quality to get a pretty comfortable win here. I'm going to say 3-0. Moving on into West Ham as they take on Luton at the London Stadium. And West Ham coming into this one in a good position. I'd say to qualify personally. I think the way they've been playing recently, I don't know, it's typical David Moyes football, isn't it? It's not quite had the desired effect recently, but I think they still will be capable of brushing teams aside like Luton, who I think just haven't done enough. Europe hasn't quite worked out, but I think West Ham will have enough here to get a win. Moving on into Wolves as they take on Palace at Molineux, and Wolves and Palace coming into this one, with not a lot to play for, but the way Palace have been playing recently, for me, definitely one of the most impressive teams in the Premier League. The forward threat they've got at the back, they've got solid defenders like Gurhey as well. So on the whole, they're looking like a really interesting spot here. But I'm going to say Wolves at home might just nick a win. I'm going to say they're for a surprise 2-0. But moving on into Forest as they take on Chelsea at the City ground, and Forest coming into this one, in a position where you can say that they're probably safe, but it's not official yet, so they have to keep going for it. But against the Chelsea side, who have come back strong recently, really looking in a pretty decent position to stay up now, it's going to be an intriguing game, that is for sure. I'm going to say it will be a 2-0 Chelsea win. I think they'll have enough to get the win. Moving on into Manchester United as they take on Arsenal at Old Trafford, and this is an interesting game. Manchester United coming into this one, I think still really enough. Defeats of Palace were so poor. Arsenal need a win. The way they've been brushing teams aside lately, you'd think it would be a relatively straightforward win here, but you can never be sure. You don't know what sort of game you're going to get between these two sides. I think Arsenal will have enough quality, but I don't think it'll be as easy as some people think. I'm going to say 2-1. Moving on then finally to Villa against Liverpool at Villa Park, and Villa coming into this one. Still in a good position to get Champions League football, but the deal's not done yet, so they need to keep going for it, if you see what I mean. But Liverpool, their title hopes now, you'd say pretty much over. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, but I think it will be I think in the end it will be a close game between these two sides, two good sides, but obviously a lot more on it for Villa. Liverpool maybe slightly better squad. I'll say 1-1. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily football news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.